we talked about m being our slope, and that we use m for our slope because our slope-intercept form of the line is y equals mx plus b. So whatever our coefficient of x is when our equation is in this form is going to be our slope. Our y-intercept is the y value when x equals 0. So that's where our line is going to run into the y-intercept. But today, we're just kind of looking at this form to figure out what the slope of the line is. So all of these are already in the form y equals mx plus b. But our first section, we just have to find the slope of the line. So the slope is always the coefficient of x. So here for number 1, m is equal to 6/5. So our slope is 6/5. Do you see that? Number 2 is already a little bit tricky because what is the coefficient of x here? 1. Good. Maybe it wasn't as tricky as I thought. So m is equal to 1. Okay? Does that seem fairly straightforward? What would our slope be for number 3? Good. It's our coefficient, and that is -3. For 4, m is equal to 5. Yep, and we're just going to use the coefficient. We're not going to use the x. And here our slope is equal to -4. Here our slope is equal to 7 is 4/3. 8 is again a little bit tricky, like number 2 was. Instead of 1, it's going to be -1. Here our slope is -1/2. And number 10, our slope is -1/5. So now that we've been able to figure out the slope from this slope-intercept form, we're going to practice writing an equation in slope-intercept form. So remember, our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So our slope is m, our y-intercept is b. We just need to put in those things into our equation. So we have y equals our slope, which is m, so 3x plus b. In this case, we're going to say plus 2 because our y-intercept is +2. Okay, so we're just filling in m and b. So again, slope is m, y-intercept is b. So we have y equals m, which is 5/3, x plus b, which is +2. Okay, so if our slope is always m and our y-intercept is always b, we have y equals m, which is -3/4, mx, so we need to put our x in, and then plus b. Here, our y-intercept is -3, so we're going to say -3. So the sign does matter, right? Again, our slope is m, our y-intercept is b, so y equals m, so -1/2 x, mx, plus b, so we have -1 here. Do you guys see the pattern and what we're filling in? So for 15, y equals m, so m is 5/3, x plus b, so +4 here. 16 is kind of interesting. Let's just write this out as we would at first. So y equals, I'm leaving some space below this because I have to simplify it. Y equals 0x minus 2. What's 0 times anything?
0.
0. So 0 times x is just 0. What's 0 minus 2? Negative 2.
Yeah.
So here, our y equals negative 2. So if we ever don't see an x, our slope would be 0. Here we have y equals m. M is negative 1/2 x plus b, so minus 3. For 18, y equals m, which is 4x. Y-intercept is 4 as well, so plus 4. Y equals mx plus b. So y equals, no, I don't have to write the 1. I could just write it as negative x because 1 times anything is just that, minus 3. It doesn't mean that negative 1x would be wrong, though. That would be acceptable, but sometimes they might want it in its most simplified form. So this is going to look similar to this because the slope is the same, but our y-intercept is different. So here we have y equals negative x, but instead of minus 3 here, our b is positive 3. Okay. Any questions about page 9? So far, so good? Excellent. All right, page 10. We're going to put this all together. So we're going to write the linear equation given the table. So we're finding our change in y. How do I go from 17 to 20? We're adding 3, right? Adding 3, adding 3. So our change in y is 3. Our change in x, it's going up by 1. So our slope is 3 over 1, which is equal to 3. And our y-intercept is the value when x equals 0. What is the y value when x equals 0? 17. So in other words, this is m and this is b. So we're just going to fill in our equation, right? Y equals mx plus b. Now that we know what m is and what b is, we can do what we just did on the last page. Y equals mx plus b plus 17. Does that make sense? So we're going to do the same thing here. Instead of going up by 3, here we're going down by 3. How would I write a change going down by 3? Negative 3. And this time our x is still going up by 1. So our slope is negative 3 divided by 1, which is simply negative 3. And what is the y value when x equals 0? 8. So remember, the y value when x equals 0 is our y-intercept. So that's b, and our slope we call m. So now we can put it into our equation, right? So we have y equals m, which is negative 3, x that we have to put in, and then b, which is plus 8. So far, so good? All right, we're just going to do a couple more before you're going to try these on your own. Here, our change of y is going up by 2. Our change of x is also going up by 2. So our slope is the change of y divided by the change in x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Remember, that's what our m is equal to. Now we need to figure out what our y value is when x is 0. When x is 0, our y value is 12. And remember, this is equal to our y-intercept, or b. So now we have y equals, well, 1 times x is just x. So 1x we could write as x plus b, so plus 12. It wouldn't be wrong if you wrote y equals 1x plus 12. It just wouldn't be as simplified. Our change in y, well, I notice right away we need to fill in something. So going this way, they're each going up by 1. So really, our change in y is going down by 1. So this is -1. This is going up by 1. So our slope is our change in y divided by our change in x. So -1 divided by 1 is -1. And then filling this in helped us figure out that when x equals 0, y is 13. So again, this is our y-intercept, or b, and this is our slope, or m. So here, instead of just x, we're going to have -x. So y equals -x, and then b is 13. So plus 13. All right, so we did 9 and 10 together. Now you're going to do the same thing on pages 11 and 12. Remember, you're using the form of y equals mx plus b. Remember, m is equal to our slope, and b is equal to our y-intercept. This is y when x equals 0. But the first one, you're just looking for our slope. So what does m equal here, right? 2. What does m equal here, right? -1/3. So keep going through that. You've got pages 11 and 12. You've got plenty of time to do those.